We just got done taking out both our fuel tanks on our 85 C10 here. Part of the reason is to get them fixed and get that selector valve, getting both tanks to work. It was only feeding off one for a while. Today we're gonna be cleaning up the frame a little bit, getting some paint on it while the tanks are out. Maybe the axle. We got some farm implement paint from Tractor Supply. Professional painter. I was thinking about pulling the axle and doing all that, but no thanks. Got the e-brake lines, got the brake lines. I'm gonna have to bleed them and nobody got time for that. So we're gonna start with a little bit of prep work, clean it off, then we'll start painting. Let's check it out. Real quick, before I start sanding, I got these fuel lines unbolted, so I'm just gonna kind of move it out of the way, just so I can kind of work around it. Maybe we'll zip tie it. And then got some clips like this around the frame, pull off any stuff like that. Stuff that's easy to remove, I'm gonna just go ahead and do. Nothing too fancy here, just some 180 grit on a DA. And I'm just trying to knock off any loose dirt, rust. The lowering hardware, like these brackets for the leaf springs, the shackle, they all look pretty good and new still. So I don't think I'm gonna worry about that. But everything else, hit it quick with the sander. Maybe we'll break out the wire wheel for the axle and get that cleaned off. Got all the flat spots with the sander and then came in with the wire wheel, did some detail, nooks and crannies. Now, take the floor jack, get this thing up in the air, put it on some ramps, and then we'll try and get up underneath. Nice. Oh, and I was also able to pull this wire harness all the way out to this point and just kind of lay it on the ground. So that frame rail is pretty much clear. Just got done with the axle, I think. A lot of dust, so let's see how we're doing. That's actually looking pretty good. Good enough for me anyway. I think I'll bust out the old bug and tar remover and spray all this down, get it wiped down, cleaned up. We got the most of it off. Yeah. We'll do this half first. All right, ready to start painting. I think I'm gonna do the axle first. That way I can lean over the frame rail if I have to.
But also for holding your tongue down like a nurse.
True. Good. Now I got regular brushes, and if the brush strokes start showing up, I got some foam brushes too. So we'll see how these go. Here we go. Oh yeah, this is gonna take a little while, but.
Freeing up the frame?
Yeah.
I am.
Oh, you are?
Oh, she is. You're not doing anything, Jimmy.
Alright, I'll stop.
You're making it look like garbage.
Got the axle most of the way done. It's actually going pretty good. I don't think the brush strokes are going to be a big deal. It's actually smoothing out really nicely. So I'm going to get a first coat on everything, and then if we have extra paint, I'll do a second coat and then kind of fill in the cracks as we go. All right, it's coming along nicely. We got this half of the frame done inside and out, and there's some brush strokes. Noticeably on the leaf spring, looks like it's made of wood. That's all right. I did use the foam brush on this part, pretty much the only part you can see from the outside, and that looks nice and smooth and glossy and nice. We're gonna get this half done next, and then I think the plan is I'm gonna pull it outside in the sun, see if there's any light spots, see what all we missed, fill in the cracks, and little detail work. Like I know I did miss a few spots somewhere, like there's a spot. We can do all that outside then. So we're gonna start hammering out this other half. It takes a lot longer than I thought it would. Got most of the frame done. Now I'm gonna do that part with the foam brush. I would do the whole frame with the foam brush. It spreads really nice and there's not any run marks or any brush stroke marks, but the foam brushes like fall apart really easy. They get really flimsy. See, like this one is already deteriorating, but it looks a lot nicer. And this should be like the only part visible once the bed's back on. See, it's sad. Frame's looking good. I'm gonna call it a day there. Tomorrow, pull it outside like I was talking about. See you tomorrow. And we're back. I went out and grabbed a can of the spray version just to make any touch up easier. It's nice and sunny out, so we're gonna get the truck out of the shop and finish up. Try and use these ramps to our advantage. That ought to it'll work. I think we'll actually be in pretty good shape. I don't really see any thin spots. I think it's more just gonna be doing all the spots I didn't paint, like right there, and all the other spots I missed. Missed a good bit right here. Picasso. We got it covered pretty good. I'm out of paint. Pretty much the biggest spots I missed was on the underneath top side of the frame rails and the bottoms of the frame rails. But I got all that now. I don't think I'm gonna bother saving my $2 brush. Now I reckon I'm gonna go over the whole thing with the spray can, just kind of dust over everything. I don't know how this is gonna go. Let's just try it right here. Ooh, that works pretty good for touch up, but it's pretty fuming. I'm gonna get a mask on. There's a good spot. All right, got all the spray painting done, and it's looking pretty good. I don't think I missed any spots. Starting to get shady here, so I'm gonna push it up into the sun so it can kind of bake itself on there. See if there's enough fuel in the carb to move it up the driveway a little bit more. Come on. Good. I get this taillight wiring routed back in the channel here. I think it's pretty dry. Yeah, good enough. Put all these clips back in. I don't quite remember where they go, so we're just gonna guess, like right here. Wiring is back in, looks pretty good. It's been baking out here long enough. We'll roll it back into the shop. I got started again. Sweet. There was one other thing I was supposed to get done today, but I didn't really think about it. I got another leaf spring bolt for this one. Story with that is I got home one time and this bolt was halfway out and it didn't have a nut on it, and I didn't have a nut laying around that fit, so that's actually the wrong size, so I just tightened it up till it got tight, and that's how it's been ever since. And I was going to replace this, but now that the paint is a little bit wet and I'm gonna have to either put a jack here or something, I'm just gonna have to wait. So that is gonna wrap it up for the frame paint. I'm actually really happy with how it turned out. Can you tell I painted it with a brush? Yeah. Do I care? No, not really, because it'll look good from standing back. And then the parts you will be able to see look better than the rest. That's gonna wrap it up for this one, guys. Next time we're doing dual fuel tanks, getting them working, and then it'll be time to paint, and we'll be done with the truck for a little bit. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Take it easy. See you in the next one.